This is the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. We have assembled the world's finest sports and trivia dorks to prove once and for all that we are just as bad at this as we were at sports.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, sports trivia for those of us who rode the pine. You're listening to episode number 320, and I know Mason's not here, but that's Joe Montana's uniform times Barry Sanders' uniform. I'm your host tonight, David, and today's game will feature the Benchwarmer team of Markkus and Eric Eade versus the team of Scott and assistant coach for our Patreon team, Marc Grenier. Hi, Mark. It's been a while since you've been on. Anything new with you in the last, 9 months we decided it's been since you've been here?
No.
Wow, that was fast. All right, anything not new that you want to talk about?
No. I am Mark. Yes, I've been on probably arguably more than anybody. I don't know. David, you're the official stat keeper.
I'll check on our first break.
I think I've earned 3 or 4 smoking jackets. But yeah, I always love hanging out with people answering trivia. I live in New Hampshire. I am a fan of the New England Patriots, the Boston Red Sox, the Boston Celtics, the Boston Bruins, Notre Dame Fighting Irish, South Carolina Gamecocks. Yeah, Lenora Sellers for Heisman. Let's go.
Didn't you have some Atlanta Falcons affinity or somewhere in there?
I love the Falcons too. I lived in Atlanta for a while, so I do like the Falcons, but I hate the Braves.
Fair enough. Yeah, well. Anyway, hey, Scott, what's happening with you? You got a team name? Do you have anything new for us?
I do have a team name. I'm all right. We're in the throes of fantasy football season. I have my first fantasy football draft tomorrow, and I'm just excited. It's one of the most fun times of the year. I'm excited for this upcoming season. Can't wait. Hopefully by the time this comes out, I've done several drafts and not tanked them. Because of that, I think the first time in my life, I'm actually interested in watching the Patriots, which I can't even believe those words are coming out of my mouth. But there's a lot of players on that team. They have a nice young core, specifically on offense, that I'm very interested in watching. They also have Stephon Diggs. But I'm interested in watching them. There's a few players, one in particular that Mark and I are both very excited to watch on the team. And I think is a kind of a sleeper, but becoming more of a steady riser for fantasy drafts. And that's Travion Henderson, the running back out of Ohio State for the Patriots. But because Mark and I are both on that train, we decided our team name tonight will be High on Travion. And you can interpret that however you'd like.
All right, sounds good. High on Travion. I'll take it. All right, Mr. Ellis, Eric, what you got? Who wants to go first? Tell us how we're doing.
Yeah, I'm good. Just closing in on football season starting, so this is my last week of freedom before all hell breaks loose, and I am a football coach, and first and foremost, and everything else in my life becomes secondary. So, excited to be here.
When's the first game for the team?
Oh, gosh, September 5th.
Okay, so a few more weeks.
Yeah, a couple more weeks.
What's the outlook? What are you predicting?
We're going to go 9-1, I think.
Wow.
We're very talented. Just depends on how quickly they gel. I mean, I feel good about it. I actually feel really good. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, we're in a weak conference, so that's why I think that. So let me rephrase that. I think it's eight league games. I think we'll go 7-1 probably. But so I'm excited about that. Yeah, I had a good laugh today. I'm glad Mark has some affinity for the Atlanta Falcons because I do too, because of QB1. And if you watched the CBS affiliate interview him about a fight that happened at practice the other day, in which he was involved, on his nameplate on the interview, again on the CBS affiliate, it said Michael Penis Jr., which I very much laughed about. Because I was like, man, somebody's getting fired for sure. So anyways, excited about that. Excited to team with Eade. So that's about it for me.
Very cool. All right, Mr. Eade, haven't seen you in a while. How are you?
Well, I want to take everybody to this new segment that I'm debuting today. I'm going to lay this on to everybody. This is called So owning a house is terrible. So the other night I was walking up to bed at 10:30. That's what you do when you're old, is you go to bed at 10:30, and that might even have been late. So
that's late. That is late.
Yeah, right.
That is late.
So going up to bed, all of a sudden smoke detector goes off. I haven't cooked anything in days. I don't know why that's going off. It's like full blown, not like battery low chirping, whatever, just full blown goes off, but then stops after about 5 or 6 beeps. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. My wife immediately comes like, what are you doing down there? I'm like, I'm not doing anything. So whatever, go up to the bedroom. I'm like, kind of weird, but Anyway, so I'm sitting in the bed, getting ready to just like shut the lights off or whatever. Another smoke detector goes off. Not the same one, different one. Just starts going off. And I'm like, all right, we're all going to die. I'm now like freaking out. Like, what's happening? Is there a fire in the walls? What? I don't know. So, long story short, they kept going on and off, like both of them, back and forth, back and forth. I call my brother-in-law who knows about stuff because I don't. Um, and he's like, "Are they hardwired?" And I'm like, my answer to him was, because I don't want to seem stupid, sure. Um, just yeah, they are. Why not? Why wouldn't they be? It's the 90s. So whatever. Long story, they keep going off. So finally, as I'm down there, I go upstairs and my wife's like, I called the fire department. I'm like, why did you call the fire department? She's like, well, the late and the response from the fire department was very uneasy. And that's the whole point of this story is whoever she spoke to told her, well, just unplug them until tomorrow and get new ones. But what if there's a actual problem? Just, I didn't think the fire department was going to be like, cross your fingers, hope to see you in the morning. Like, I don't know, just.
Well, and
Godspeed.
don't leave us in suspense. Right? Like what?
So then my brother-in-law called me back and he's like, well, if they are hardwired, he's like, there may be one that's bad and it could trigger the other ones. So I disconnected one and they didn't go off since. So long story short, there was not a fire in the wall, but please, fire department, don't just tell me, hey, check it out in the morning. Just get a good night's sleep and worry about this tomorrow because I'm not worried about it for you. And yeah, just what, please, like carbon monoxide, anything. I don't know what it could have been. Did a mouse chew a wire? Did something? I don't know. Anyway.
I had to replace my carbon monoxide monitors upon returning from San Diego, and they must have been installed about 6 hours apart because it went off when I got home. I bought one, replaced it, went to sleep, and I came home and the other going off. So I had to buy another one and replace it. I was so pissed off.
Are they hardwired?
No, they're not. They're like the individual units, and it's like the dead beeping.
Yeah,
So
just that little chirp, like
yes.
yeah,
double chirp.
Right. So here's a question. I want everybody to answer this. How long? Maybe I'm stupid. How long are smoke detectors good for?
10 years.
10 years.
Right.
That's what I
would think.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Fire department. Oh, they're good for like 2 or 3 years. You need new ones.
Yeah, well, they're covering their own butts a little bit there.
I'm like, I gotta buy new ones every 2 to 3 years. I thought you just changed the battery. Whatever. I'm old. I don't know anymore. Like they don't even have Wi-Fi. Why am I replacing them so much?
I think you only got old when the story crossed about a minute. That's when you. That's anyway. Give me a team name. Let's get on with this.
Oh yeah. So Markkus, let me know about a very fun thing going on with everyone's favorite Omar Gooding. So I don't know what side we're on, but why not? Our team name today is going to be Wild and Crazy Kids.
Sounds perfect to me and timely. All right, so we got High on Travion versus Wild and Crazy Kids. I think we're ready to roll. All we need is Dan for a rule read, so let's get Dan in here. I'm looking around like he's actually here. All right, Dan, give us the rules.
The game will consist of 4 quarters of play, each with different trivia style. The styles of quarters 1 through 3 will change from show to show, and I will explain them as we go along. Like any good sporting event, we will have a halftime show after the second quarter with entertainment questions. And in the fourth quarter, our teams will wager from their points accumulated to see who are today's clipboard captains, to be honored like the true benchwarmers they are. All right, let's get this game underway.
Okay, so today's first quarter is going to be pre and post game.
Pre and post game. For this quarter, there will be 4 before and after style questions. For example, if I said, what all-time leader in receptions for the Indianapolis Colts was a Notre Dame safety drafted by the Minnesota Vikings, the answer would be Marvin Harrison Smith. Each question is worth 25 points.
All right, today's pre and post game is dedicated to Major League Baseball players who have hit home runs for at least 10 teams.
Oh, good Lord.
At least one of the answers, right. And some reason that's had Scott Grimes written all over it to me. So each of these pre and post games will have at least one answer. At least half of it will be somebody who hit home runs for at least 10 teams. And don't worry, there are plenty of hints. Question number 1. His number is retired by every team in the NBA. And he came up with Cleveland in 1998, had a career high 31 home runs with Seattle in 2009, but also hit home runs for Milwaukee, the Reds, Padres, Tampa, Anaheim, Arizona, St. Louis, and Philly.
David, we are going to check in.
Ion Travion has checked in. Wild and Crazy Kids. We'll give you a couple minutes to talk this out if you need it.
I didn't know his number was retired by everybody.
Who?
Was it Bill Russell?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Basically, I'm not even kidding. Today in my friend's group chat, we talked about how absurd the roster was for the 2009 Seattle Mariners and how Jack Zarenzik's a moron. And they had guys like Mike Sweeney, a guy who I genuinely played the most games at catcher, cannot recall for 1 second an inning that he played, which is his name is Rob Johnson, because the other catcher was Kenji Jojima, who was, he fresh over from Japan. Anyways, all that to say, it's got to be Bill Russell, and that makes the second half Russell Branian manning first base. So we're gonna check in Bill Russell Branian.
All right. And Ion Travion?
Yeah, I was just trying to think. At first, I thought Richie Sexton because he also came up in Cleveland around that time and then went to Seattle and hit a bunch of homers. But his career high is way more than 31 homers in a season. Dismissed that, and then I actually had Russell Brandon before I had Bill Russell because just looking at the teams, I've been doing Sporkle quizzes of like every team's starting left fielder, second baseman, and Russell Brandon was the starting left fielder for Cleveland in 99, I think, on opening day. So his name is also fresh in my mind because I did that quiz earlier today. So we also checked in with Bill Russell Branian.
Well done. Both teams have nailed the first question. I'll be really surprised if you both happen to have been talking about or doing Sporkle quizzes about question number 2, but we'll see. All right, here we go. Question number 2. U.S. Virgin Island, that is the birthplace of both Raja Bell and Tim Duncan, and 17th all-time in games played at shortstop. He played for 11 teams, homering for only 10 from 1991 to 2007. He came up with the Giants, succeeded Ozzie Smith at shortstop in St. Louis, and had some solid years in Texas.
David, we're going to check in.
Perfect. All right. Ion Travion is checked in. Once again, Wild and Crazy Kids, this is yours.
Yeah, Tim Duncan's born in St. Croix. So you said Royce, so it's Royce Clayton. So
Yeah. That's it.
St. Croix Clayton.
Has a ring to it, doesn't it? All right. And Ion Travion, what'd you guys have?
Yeah, I started on the geography part because I'm good at sports trivia, but I'm probably better at geography, arguably. So I'm just hitting Scott with like St. Thomas, St. John, and St. Croix. And then he was like Royce Clayton. I'm like, well, there you go. And I was like, I was pretty sure Tim Duncan was from St. Croix. But yeah, St. Croix Clayton.
Well done. And I had it rattled around in my brain, Mark, that you were a geography guy. So I worked in a geography question for you. Trivia for you, if you did not know, Royce Clayton actually played Miguel Tejada in Moneyball. So there you go. Question number 3. Played from 1989 to 2004, predominantly as a third baseman, with most of his seasons being with the Mets and Cardinals. He had at least 5 home runs for 11 different teams. And other than Jim Plunkett and Ben Roethlisberger, he's the only quarterback to win at least 2 Super Bowls and not yet be in the Hall of Fame.
David, once again, we will check in.
All right, we're going to pattern here. Ion Travion has checked in. Wild and Crazy Kids, once again, yours to talk out.
Mets and Cardinals.
I mean, there's Darryl Strawberry, but I don't think that works with the Cardinals aspect of it, right?
Yeah, that third baseman, Darryl Strawberry.
I don't read questions. You know this.
I'm really struggling with this.
Right? 89 to 2004.
It's a long time.
That is why wouldn't we know about somebody who played that long? Gary Carter. I don't know.
So are we settled on Eli? It's got to be, right?
Has to be.
Oh my God. This is so stupid. I hate this so much.
Who is it?
I was going through baseball cards in my mind, and for whatever reason, I couldn't get Mike Matheny out of my head. But also a bland white that fits because I'm thinking Eli. It has to. I was trying to think if David was trying to stretch it somewhere, and I was like, he's sounding it out. How about Todd Zeal? Eli Manning?
I don't think that works.
Does it not?
I don't. That would be a fireable offense. I feel if he did that, that's worse than Toyota. I'm just saying.
That's the best I have. I was like, oh,
wait. Todd Hundley?
Hunley Manning?
That's worse.
Hundley. No, it's got to
No.
be. I feel good about this. That's a. He played for the Cardinals at third base.
But it doesn't work. That's the problem. Does it work? Does it? You really think that works?
No, but I just am tired of thinking about this.
So am I. Oh God.
I think we just have to do it because
Zeli Manning? What? This doesn't work. All right, fine. Go ahead.
okay, checking in Todd Zeli Manning.
All right. And hi on Travion, who checked in very quickly.
Yeah, because I had Todd Zeal right away. That's why we checked in so quickly. I love how Eric named every player Eric named was not a third baseman. Yeah, Mets. I think of him mostly as a Met. The reason Eric he played from '89 to 2004, and you can't think of him is because he never started. He was just a backup third baseman pretty much his whole career, like a spot starter. And he also played other positions too, but predominantly third base is correct. We also checked in with Todd Zeli Manning, which I also don't think works, but that's what we checked in.
On what level doesn't that work? The sound is
So-
eel. Eel?
But his name's
It's
not
not-
Eli Manning.
It's not Eli Manning.
I think it works.
I'm officially his name is now Eli Manning.
Eli Manning.
Eli Manning. I think it works. I think it definitely works. All right. Well, I'll give you a few random tidbits. I think Mark might appreciate this one. Todd Zeal was married to Julianne McNamara. You might remember was an early U.S. gymnast. She was the first U.S. gymnast to ever score 10.0 in the Olympics. And their daughter, which I learned from doing this research, had a recurring role on This Is Us, if you watch that show. So there you go. He's also the only player to hit home run for 11 or more teams, apparently. So
I've got super fun. That 2009 Mariners team, 85 games, 85 and 77. They missed the playoffs narrowly. This is their top 9 guys in games played. Rob Johnson, Russell Branyan, Jose Lopez, Unieski Betancourt, Adrian Beltre, Vladimir Ballantyne, Franklin Gutierrez, Ichiro, and 39-year-old, George Kenneth Griffey Jr.
dude, that's
What a
that's 3 Hall of Famers.
Followed by Mike Sweeney, Kenji Jojima, Ronnie Cedeno, and Andy Chavez.
I still say
What
that's
a
3 Hall of
squad.
Famers. It's pretty good.
Yeah, great squad.
Yeah.
This is what it's like being a Mariners fan. I'll just tell you that.
Perfect. All right. Well, question number 4. During his up and down career from 1992 to 2011, he homered for 11 teams, with his best seasons from 1996 to 2000 when he hit 122 home runs for the Oakland A's. And this is what a chokehold restricts in wrestling or UFC. And no, it's not to make sure you are all out of love.
We're checking in.
All right. Hi on Travion once again is checked in extremely quickly, leaving us to listen to Wild and Crazy Kids flounder through another one.
So he's clearly going for air supply.
Yeah, Steve McNair supply. Did he play for the A's? Steve McNair. He may have. Hold on.
He did say his best seasons were from '96 to 2000. That lines up with Steve.
That does.
Okay.
Jeez.
96
Chavez.
to 2000.
96 A's. Mark McGuire.
Air supply. Is okay, wait. Is this Matt Stairs? Stairs supply? That doesn't work.
Stairs.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
air
because the
supply.
S.
Yeah.
Another
Wow.
stretch. Pulling back muscles out here. This
Jeez
is
Louise. All right. So
yeah.
are you good to check in with
Sure.
Matt Stairs supply?
yeah, it's either that or Ricky Henderson supply.
I was thinking carotid artery, but at first when he was saying chokehold restricts, I was
That's
like,
what
oh,
I
yeah.
thought. I was trying to think.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're not.
Steve carotid artery.
Yeah. Begin with Matt Stairs supply.
All right. And hi on Travion. What'd you guys have?
This I just want to say for Mark and I, like this has not been editing magic. We've had these instantly.
We is a bit of a stretch, Scott. I just
All
sit
right,
back
fair.
and
I was-
allow you
I
to
was-
type them to me, and I say, yes, that is
I
correct.
was trying to give you credit. Well, you're making yourself look good by checking in right away
Thank
and
you.
making it seem like it's you. So yeah, this works. This made sense, right? And also missed on the up and down career clue, which I understand, like stairs up and down. So
I was
very,
thinking
very well
escalator.
calculated. Yeah. We also checked in with Matt Stair Supply.
Boston
Yeah.
Red Sox legend, Matt Stairs.
That's right, Boston Red Sox legend. You're darn right. Yes, Matt Stairs Supply is correct. Matt Stairs holds the record for most pinch hit home runs in Major League Baseball history. Any guesses on how many is the record for pinch hit home runs? What would you guess? Which
32.
That's not a bad guess. It's 23. It's hard to be, that many. You only get so many. You can't get more than one opportunity a game, and you don't get one every game. So yeah, for sure, it's 23. So anyway, well, it was a bit of a struggle with the Wild and Crazy Kids, but we have made it through the end of the first quarter, and both teams are knotted at 100 points.
We wanted to let you know that we are on Patreon if you'd be interested in supporting us financially. Your contributions will be used to help us cover the costs that it takes to bring you the high-quality sports trivia you have come to expect from us. There's also some great perks that come with the Patreon membership to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, including bonus episodes and Benchwarmers swag. You can find us at patreon.com/benchwarmerstp. Thanks.
Today's second quarter is going to be 5-on-3.
Five on three. For this quarter, there will be 3 categorized lists containing 5 items, where each item is worth 10 points. The teams will attempt to guess as many items as they can. However, if a team has an incorrect guess, they will receive 0 points for that list.
All right. I'm officially borrowing this or maybe stealing this from my good friend Matt Takimoto. This will be 5-on-3 scoring, but it will actually be 5 questions for each with rhyming answers. So it's the same 5-on-3 scoring. You can check in with as many as you want, but you'll receive 0 if you get any answers wrong. All right?
But every answer has to rhyme.
But all 5 answers in a group will rhyme.
Gotcha.
All right? Question number 1. 1978 AL MVP and your host's favorite player growing up. In the late 80s, the A's won 3 straight Rookies of the Year. Jose Canseco, Mark McGwire, and this person. Number 3. Bahamian American MMA fighter who had a 7-0 career boxing record, though he died in 2016 at the age of 42. Number 4, the winningest goaltender in Montreal Canadiens history. And number 5, Kofi Kingston's finishing move.
Checking in.
All right. Once again, super fast check-in for High on Travion. Wild and Crazy Kids. Let's hear this talk out.
We're right there. So
Okay.
I've heard David say Jim Rice a bunch.
Yep.
The name that made sense to me was Walt Weiss. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Bahamian American MMA fighter, 7-0 before he died. That's Kimbo Slice.
Undefeated in the
Winningest-
yard. Let me tell you. Oh, man, those videos. Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then winningest goaltender in Canadiens history is Carey Price. And then you said
And Kofi Mania. He won it against Daniel Bryan with Trouble in Paradise.
so. That'll be our answer.
Perfect. And High on Travion.
Yeah, we have the exact same 5. Jim Rice, Walt Weiss, Kimbo Slice, Carey Price, Trouble in Paradise.
Both teams are getting 50 points. Well done. Yes, it is true. Jim Rice was my favorite player growing up. Mark, you're probably not quite old enough to remember.
Likewise. What
Oh,
are you talking
really?
about? I'm not old enough.
Oh.
I'm 51 almost.
Oh, okay,
David.
okay. I
Jim
gotta
Rice was
figure
my
something
favorite
out.
player.
I'm a
David.
man.
David,
I'm a man.
I'm 50.
Mark is half your age. Show some respect.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right.
Jim Rice was my favorite player growing up.
Oh, that's
Get
so
into
cool.
a lot of double plays, but
He
was
did,
my
but when he
favorite
made
player.
contact, unbelievable.
Yep. I was
Yes.
14 in Little League in honor of Jim Rice.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Very
So,
good.
Yep.
Very cool. All right. Question number 2. Sports card company whose most famous cards include the most expensive Michael Jordan rookie card and the Billy Ripken bleep face card. Number 2, former Brewer and Tiger who holds the record for the lowest career batting average by a player with 200 or more career home runs. Number 3, how you might describe Peyton Manning, Reggie White, or Pat Summitt. Number 4, how you might describe Mike Allstott, Rondé Barber, or Warren Sapp. And number 5, how you might describe James Posey, David West, or Brian Grant.
We'll check in.
All right. Finally, we have a check-in first from the Wild and Crazy Kids. Hi, and Travion. We get to hear your voices. Let's hear what you got.
Wow, and crazy kids.
We've got 4 out of 5,
Yeah.
and they're trying to think of a Brewer Tiger that's not Prince Fielder.
That ends in ear.
Yeah, oh, man. Rusty Greer was an outfielder, but he was mostly Texas. He didn't hit 200 homers. Pat Mears, I don't think he had 200 homers.
No, I don't think Mears just doesn't work technically. Although David's been pushing
I was
the
going to say,
limits
yeah.
of what does work so far tonight.
Man, why can't I think of a Tiger Brewer? I'm like, I got immaculate grid in my head now. Low batting average is probably like an outfielder or a first baseman would be my guess,
Catcher,
or a catcher.
but
200 home run hitting catchers aren't as common, so it might be easier to get.
I don't think I'm coming up with anything, Scott.
Yeah, it's hard to think of.
Not that I would feel good about.
Trying to think of Tigers World Series teams. Yeah, I don't know.
Other than just like
four?
blindly guessing a Lucky Greer, which does rhyme, which I
No.
don't feel good about. So I would think we'll just go with the 4.
All right.
Which
you want to check them in?
Yeah. Fleer, Volunteer, Buccaneer, Musketeer.
Right? Wild and Crazy Kids. Let's hear what you came up with.
Yeah, we had Fleer, Buccaneer, Volunteer, Musketeer, and I'm pretty sure I have him on a Fleer baseball card somewhere in my binder. But if I'm remembering correctly, he's on the Red Sox. But sure, it rhymes, so we went with it, and it's we said Rob Deere.
Both teams are receiving points. It is Red Sox legend Rob Deere. He towards the end of his career in 1993, he had I just had to look this up, but he had a glorious ending with the Red Sox. He had 7 home runs and 16 RBIs in like half a season. He was just terrible. Watching him was just painful. I mean, when he made contact, it was good, but he had 230 career home runs and a 220 career batting average. What's even worse to me is that his career on base percentage was only 324. So if you're a baseball nerd, that's awful. So
probably had about 4,000 strikeouts too. I feel like he was one of the original guys who was like strikeout or home run. And that was it.
He led the league in strikeouts 4 times in only about 12 seasons. So
he walked so Adam Dunn could run.
That's right. That's right. Exactly.
Shout out to Richie Sexton.
Question number 3. The player who owns the Dodgers team record for most consecutive games with a home run. The first name of the son in the most prolific scoring father-son in NBA history. Thus far, he has a 48-20 record as an NFL coach, including 6-3 in the playoffs. The first name of the Naismith Hall of Famer, who famously played one-on-one against Paul Simon in an SNL skit in 1975. And, just for fun, the city in Pennsylvania where Phil Connors spent a long time.
We're checking in, David.
All right. Hi on Travion has checked in. Wild and Crazy Kids. A couple minutes to nail this down.
All right. So
why is this is so annoying? Otani, Bronny. You said Connie
Hawkins. The SNL skit.
And Punxsutawney.
So that means the coach
Dick Chirani
is Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
It fits. Check it in.
I love doing Dan Campbell.
Check it in.
Because it's so funny. Because he just goes, tell you what, man. Fired up, man. Sirianni.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And then we have we had them all.
Yeah, we had them all. Otani. Yeah.
Sirianni.
Otani, Bronny, Sirianni, Connie, and Punxsutawney.
There it is. For 100 points.
All right. And hi on Travion.
We had the same thing. I mean, I personally, I worked back to front on this one. The first one I got was Punxsutawney. And then, Scott was like Bronny and then Sirianni. I'm like, yep, okay. And then Otani we got. And it took us a little while of running through Ani names to get to Connie. But then I was like, oh, yeah, Connie Hawkins. That makes total sense. So we checked in with the same 5.
Well done. Both teams are receiving their 50 points. And yeah, if you've never seen it, I think it was the first season of Saturday Night Live, maybe the second. And I don't even remember what the circumstances were because I haven't seen this thing in probably 20 years. But Connie Hawkins, who was kind of a playground legend, so you kind of figure he's going to beat anybody one-on-one. For some reason, Paul Simon challenges him. And if you've ever seen Paul Simon, he's like, I don't know, 5'2". Paul Simon beats him, but obviously Connie's throwing it. I mean, he would have destroyed him otherwise. But anyway, yeah. There you go. Correct answer, Shohei Otani, Bronny, Nick Sirianni, Connie Hawkins, and Punxsutawney. Well done. All right. After the second quarter, we have a lead, but a very small one. Wild and Crazy Kids is at 250 points, and High on Travion is at 240 points.
That Rob Deere guy, who I've never heard of. That's the difference.
Really? Oh,
Rob Deere's dad.
I thought Rob Deere was those green tractors. That's not Rob Deere?
Yeah. Well, sorry, Scott, but that will bring us to halftime.
is now time for the halftime show. There will be 3 entertainment questions pertaining to sports, with each question worth 25 points.
All right. I managed to scramble up one more round of stupid dad jokes meets the bench warmers. I'm not sure that Ede has ever played these, so just in case, each answer is going to be a popular idiom or proverb. For example, if I said, make sure quarterbacks Norm Van Brocklin, Dan Fouts, Marcus Mariota, Justin Herbert, and Bo Nix are properly lined up, your answer would be, make sure your ducks are in a row. Or if I said, I'll trade you the Memphis basketball coach for your opinions, your answer would be a penny for your thoughts. So they're stupid puns that turn into idioms.
I hate this already.
I know you do.
It's the most
I thought
David thing that's
I
ever
thought the
happened.
first one was just a bunch of losers.
Ouch. All right. Question number
The
one.
answer is the Losers Club.
We will start easy. Question number one. Kareem's favorite shot, the odds or point spread set by sports books, and the pitch that Greg Maddux, Tim Hudson, and Kevin Brown all threw effectively.
All right, just because I want Ede to try to
Oh.
talk this out, we'll check in.
All right. High on Travion has checked in.
I-
That leaves us with Wild and Crazy
I-
Kids. Let's hear it.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket. No.
What?
I haven't thought about Kevin Brown in a really long time. What a weird career he had.
Remember when he was good for a second and
He
made
was
$1
so
billion
good.
dollars?
He was
Oh.
good for more than a second.
He was
Yes.
good
He was
for
quite
like
good.
Kevin Brown has 2 of my favorite moments as a sports fan. Number one is mowing down the Braves in '98 to beat them in the NLCS, and then
Well, that's
number
going to be
2
2004.
is giving it up in
Yes.
2004
Yes.
Game 7
Yes.
to like a whole bunch of Red Sox players.
100%.
It's
Yes.
brilliant.
Yes.
all
It's
right.
hook, line, and sinker.
Yes. The hook, always by the hook.
Yeah.
Always by the hook.
All right. Sounds like a check-in to me. And Wild and Crazy. Oh, no, sorry. High on Travion. What did you guys have?
The same answer. I mean, Carlos Silva also had a nice sinker. I don't know why you left him out of this
You
list.
shut
but-
your mouth. You shut your mouth. There are people we don't talk about on this podcast, and in the top
there?
8 is Carlos Silva.
All right. I'm sensing tension, so I want to move on to question number 2.
Well, we didn't officially get our answer, but we also said
Oh,
hook, line.
thank you. I see you distracted me sufficiently. So, yes, correct answer is hook, line, and sinker. Both teams receiving points. Question number 2. Please tell Uga he is incorrectly harassing Wayne Monte Rollins, and he should just go pick on the Stanford mascot.
Oh, we can check in.
Finally, a quick check-in from the Wild and Crazy Kids. Hi, and Travion, you finally get to talk one out.
So Uga is the UGA mascot, the stupid bulldog.
Yeah, I was confused, and now I got it. It's barking up the wrong tree.
You're right. Yep. Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
Trey
we're-
Rollins. Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna check in with barking up the wrong tree.
Okay? And Wild and Crazy Kids, what'd you guys have?
Yeah, it's Wayne Monty Rollins is Magic Legend.
Seth's dad. Oh,
But yeah, barking up the wrong
right.
tree.
That is correct. It is barking up the wrong tree. Well done. Yes. Little trivia for you. Tree Rollins apparently was the last player to wear the old school Converse All-Stars. Think about that for a second. So there you go. Now that I know Mark's almost old enough to remember that.
So his feet are just mangled.
Probably his ankles anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sure his ankles are just
his
broken
lower
for
extremities are
are
just nubs.
They kind of were anyway. I seem to remember he was
I was
wearing
gonna
he was one of
say,
these guys
yeah.
who wore the knee pads all the time. And so anyway. All right, question number 3. This one's kind of dedicated to Markkus. Seems like a bad idea to take UNC basketball alum who dated Eliza Dushku for nearly 5 years and turn him loose at the alma mater of Elena Della Don or Joe Flacco.
Yes,
Okay.
we're checked in.
All right, Wild and Crazy Kids, quick check-in. Hi on Travion. Let's hear you guys talk it out.
I mean, I don't know the exact thing, but
right.
she went to Delaware, and they're the Blue Hens. I'm gonna guess this
Yeah.
is Rick Fox.
Definitely Rick Fox.
So is it just the Fox in the Hen House or something along
He's
those
usually
lines?
pretty liberal on the exact wording, so I
Don't
think
let a
that's
fox
fine.
in the head house, or don't let the fox in the hen house, something like that. That's our check-in.
All right, and yes, I grade these extremely loosely. All right, Wild and Crazy Kids, what'd you guys have?
I thank Archer for a lot of idioms because they're weaved into a lot of jokes. And there's one particular line where he goes, maybe there's a fox in the hen house or a wolf in sheep's clothing or one of the other tricky animals.
Tricky.
So yeah, fox in the hen house. Check in.
I was talking to Dan about this one. Yes, the correct answer is Fox and then else. I was talking to Dan about this one I had written it about Vanessa Williams, and he said, you should work in Eliza Dushku instead. And I said, I might lose Markkus for the rest of the game if I just mention Eliza Dushku.
She's
So,
never far from my mind, so
so really hasn't changed anything. All right. Well, both teams have swept halftime, and we still have a modest lead. Wild and Crazy Kids at 325 points, high on Travion with 315 points. Today's third quarter will be the missing link.
The missing link. This quarter will consist of 5 questions with theme-linked answers. The teams will attempt to answer the questions and guess the theme. Each question is worth 20 points. If a team checks in first via chat to the host with the correct theme before the 5th question, they will earn 100 points. The other team can still earn 50 points with the correct theme guess. If neither team has checked in with the correct theme before the 5th question, each team can earn 50 points with the correct answer to the theme after the 5th question.
All right. Question number 1 of the missing link. Who is the last national championship winning quarterback to be taken in the first round of the NFL draft?
We're checking in.
All right. High on Travion is checking in. Wild and Crazy Kids may be underthinking it, but let's see what they got.
yeah, it is. I tried to block that from my mind, but he arguably kept us in the game. For some reason, they were throwing the ball, even though they didn't need to. Because much like Jimmy Lake, William Inge, who was the D coordinator at the time, was like, oh, Michigan's in 3 tight end sets. Let's stay in the effing nickel like a bunch of dumbasses. So, yeah, I think this has to be J.J. McCarthy because that happened, unfortunately. We'll check in.
All right. And High on Travion, what'd you have?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time trying to figure out which Alabama quarterback this was. The crappy Mac Jones or the
Fragile.
fragile. I was gonna say like, yeah, fragile Tua. But then I was like, wait a second, Michigan won won 2 years ago. Sadly, Markkus, I'm sorry. And yeah, JJ McCarthy was drafted what 9th or 10th by the Vikings. So yeah, JJ McCarthy.
That's correct. My biggest fear with this question was that you'd immediately start going back to all the guys that you did. But yeah, it was more recent than that. It was J.J. McCarthy. Both teams are receiving points. All right, question number 2. He holds the major league record for the longest streak of 10 or more wins and 9 or fewer losses in a season, doing so from 1999 to 2005, even though he switched from the AL to the NL in the middle of that streak. He also didn't win his first World Series until 2014 when he went 9-13.
All right, we'll check in.
All right. Wild and Crazy Kids have checked in. High on Travion. Let's hear you guys talk this out.
Okay, so this has to be someone that's up in 1999, but also still pitching in 2014. So it's a guy that's around for a while. If he won his first World Series in 2014, that's the Giants.
Yep.
But it's not. It's Kane, Lincecum, Vogelsong, Bumgarner, and I believe Zito is their staff. But none of those work besides potentially Zito. But he did not switch to the NL until after 05.
It might have been before that, Scott. Although
because to say in the middle of that streak, 99 to 05 means like 02 would be the middle, and that's when he won the Cy Young with Oakland.
Right, or 03, yeah. And I remember, I'm almost positive he was on the A's. The Red Sox beat the A's.
He was.
In 03.
He didn't leave until 04 at the earliest.
Right.
Which the question wouldn't really... Could this be a reliever? Although 9-13 is...
Yeah, you got to have 10 wins and 9 losses.
No, I mean, what if I was thinking he started as a starter and then towards the back end, what if he's a reliever on the Giants?
Yeah.
But still 9-13 as a reliever is pretty unheard of. Yeah. Jake Peavy, but he didn't even come up until like 2004. And plus he won the World Series with the Red Sox in 13, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah,
right.
He took a duck boat home.
Also thinking Roy Halladay, but that doesn't fit either.
I mean, you're sure that 14 was the Giants, right? Like that's for sure.
They won in 10, 12, and 14.
Right. Well, then he wouldn't have been on the Giants the whole time. So it's not Zito. So if he won his first World Series in 2014, that means he wasn't on the. He was on another NL team from 2003 till 2013. Theory.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who this is. Major league record of longest streak of 10 or more wins and 9 or fewer losses in a season.
Tim Hudson.
Oh, that's better. Yes.
Because he went to the Braves.
He went to the Braves in like 03-ish.
Yeah. And then did he go back to I don't know if he went back to the Giants. I'm not sure. But
yeah, that's a much better answer. Let's do that.
Okay. We're
Yeah.
checking Tim Hudson.
And Wild and Crazy Kids, what'd you guys have?
Yeah, it took us a minute, but we kind of almost hit it at the same time. Tim Hudson.
Both teams are receiving points. See, I accidentally, this is what happens when I write the quarters at different times, but I'd accidentally foreshadowed the question in the halftime when I mentioned his sinker. But yeah, his when he first came up, he was 11-2, then he went 20-6, 18-9, 15-9, 16-7, 12-6, and 14-9. It's actually a pretty good streak. And he went to the Braves, and I was, everyone was in a panic. They were just going to keep their dominance going. But yeah, and then he finally came back to the Bay Area, went to the Giants, and he was 9-13. So yes, it is Tim Hudson. Well done to both teams. Our missing link answers so far, J.J. McCarthy and Tim Hudson. Okay, question number 3. Who's the only true freshman quarterback to start for a national championship winning team in the last 30 years?
We're gonna check it.
All right, Wild and Crazy Kids have checked in. Hi on Travion. So you're talking out.
We might have to just name all of the national champions going back to 95 and see if we can pinpoint it.
I don't think Trevor Lawrence won the national. Did
I don't
Clemson win? I don't think they did.
Okay.
I mean, Tua. Didn't Tua start as a true freshman, or who? It was him. What was that? Like him and
like
somebody else went back and forth.
Hurts got hurt, and
Hurts.
then
That's who I was.
Tua
Yeah.
kind of came in, but I don't know if that counts because he didn't start the game. Hurts started the game,
Right.
if memory serves. So Miami, right? Miami was really good. I'm trying to go back to the mid '90s, right? Nebraska.
Yeah, it was Tommy Frazier. He wasn't. I don't believe he was a true freshman. Miami had Tirade was earlier than that.
Yeah. Who's their QB when they? Oh, who's their QB when they? I don't think it would have been a freshman though,
Ken Dorsey.
and he wasn't a freshman.
No. I feel like it's more recent, like you said. Like
I
it's
do
probably in
too.
the last 10 years.
Well, then that gives us
Let's get an answer in the next 45
14
seconds.
Alabama teams.
4 or 5 seconds. Oh my God.
I know, geez.
No, I said 45 seconds.
Oh, 45. Okay.
Eat that. I don't know if that's going to help us either. They didn't win, right?
With Ohio State quarterbacks.
I don't think they won with Haskins.
No, I don't think so either.
Troy Smith was definitely not a freshman. Minor wasn't a freshman.
No.
Vince Young wasn't
Vince
a freshman.
Young, no.
Until like the early 2010s.
Cam Newton wasn't a freshman.
Right. Jameis wasn't a freshman.
Mm.
Not when because he came out right after that.
Yeah, I don't know, Scott.
I don't know. You want to throw a prayer and say Tim Tebow?
Yeah, I mean that was the only name that I kind of came up with. I think he was a sophomore when they won.
I think so too, but because he sat behind Chris Leak, I think, for a year.
Yeah.
But since we have nothing else and David needs an answer,
yep.
I guess we will check in with Tim Tebow.
All right, and Wild and Crazy Kids.
I had Jamil Holloway. I was like, I sent it to you. I was gonna get there. I just sent him. I go Oklahoma guy. I was like, it's way back, and it was taking me a minute. But you saying that it wasn't that far back actually triggered something for me because we talked about this guy in our chat earlier. I'm pretty positive in the year of our Lord 2018, true freshman Trevor Lawrence led Clemson to the national championship. So that's what we checked in with.
One team is receiving points. Yeah, how quickly we forget. It was Trevor Lawrence. I don't think he came into the season as the starter, but I think there was a
Kelly
injury.
Bryant.
Yes, that's right. And speaking of the Jamil Holloway, I think he didn't start the season as the starter either, but
it was Aikman.
It was Aikman that year. That's 100% correct. It was a pre-UCLA Troy Aikman. So the correct answer is Trevor Lawrence. Well done to Wild and Crazy Kids. Sorry that High and Travion sort of rejected that answer. But our missing link answers so far are J.J. McCarthy, Tim Hudson, and Trevor Lawrence.
I have an anti-Clemson bias, David.
That's right. That's fair. It comes with the parental badge to South Carolina, is what you're saying? Yeah.
It does.
All right. Okay, question number 4. Though I remember him as the second baseman for the We Are Family Pirates, he would go on to manage the Brewers, Tigers, and Astros. He led the Astros to their first ever World Series appearance, though they got swept.
We are checked in.
All right. High and Travion has checked in. Wild and Crazy Kids, I'll let you guys talk this one out.
Joe Morgan.
Joe Morgan played for the Big Red Machine.
Didn't he play for the Pirates too?
Did he?
No, probably not. No, probably not. All right. I'm just trying to think based on
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep, me either.
Okay, Brewers, Tigers, Astros. So that Astros World Series wasn't that the Berkman Bagwell? Was it that group, or was it before that? Did they go to one before that? Didn't they go to the World Series? Am I drunk?
They did in 2005. Who was
I
the
try to
oh,
block everything Astros out of my mind because I hate that franchise with every fiber of my being. Trying to
Phil,
think.
Phil Phil Garner.
Are you sure?
If it's the 2005 Astros that lost to the White Sox, that's Phil Garner.
Okay.
I can still picture his ugly face. I don't know if he played
Do
for
you
the.
have do you have any inkling on whether he also managed the Brewers or Tigers, or are you just going off of
I'm
the
I'm
Astros World Series?
I'm going off the Astros World Series
Was
and
that the
this.
only one they've been to besides the cheating ones?
We'll
Go
check
ahead,
in
go for it.
with Garner.
All right. And hi on Travion, what'd you guys have?
Yeah, I had this right away. I remember that '05 World Series very fondly. And I do remember him managing the Tigers. Not so much the Brewers, but also checked in with Phil Garner.
Both teams are receiving points. Yeah, he was a very average manager. I think that the stat I saw is that he's one of three managers to have racked up 1,000 losses without getting 1,000 wins. So he was sort of right on the cusp. But yeah, he was very average with the Brewers. I think pretty average with the Tigers, and he did well obviously with the Astros to get them to the World Series, but they got swept. So anyway, our
By
missing
whom?
yeah, that would be the Chicago White Sox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, back
Oh
when they were
God, you want
back when they were a real franchise. So the missing link answers so far are J.J. McCarthy, Tim Hudson, Trevor Lawrence, and Phil Garner. Question number 5. He's the all-time scoring leader for his first franchise, was traded to a second for D'Angelo Russell, signed and won an NBA championship with another, and just signed with his fourth overall this season. And with 17,517 career points, he's the most career points of any active player who has never been All NBA.
We'll check it.
All right. Wild and crazy kids have checked in. Hi on Travion. Let's hear you talk this one out.
I think we need to
take another clue? Do we get another clue?
I was gonna say.
No, I think we need to spoil the theme and try to get it that way because I can't think of this from the player. Someone who just signed this offseason who's a good scorer, but not.
Right, with his fourth team, won an NBA.
D'Angelo Russell's been on 16 teams in his career, it seems like, and gets traded like every other season.
What
So
teams
that's
does
not
Russell played for? The Lakers.
Lakers and Nets, Dallas, the Warriors, Minnesota. We might have to go the other way and just give away the theme because I
The
don't
theme
know
that
how
we
else.
have. We don't know if it's right, but who knows?
Well, it is right. It may not be the theme he wants, but it is correct. It's
It is.
factually correct, which is that they're all Jennifers. So there's your theme. So how many other Jennifers?
Aniston,
I don't
Connolly.
think there's. I can't
I
think of
don't
an
think
NBA
so
player
either.
named Aniston. I can't think of an NBA player named Connolly. Jennifer Beals, but it's not Bradley Beal.
Ooh.
No.
Yeah, I tried going down that well, but Bradley Beal's only on his third team and hasn't won a championship.
Let's all just take a minute since you guys don't know and just talk about Jennifer's. Who else?
Jennifer Lopez. It's not Felipe Lopez.
Robin
Could
Lopez?
be.
Is there a
It's
Lopez?
not.
Brooke
Is it
Lopez?
Brooke? It's Brooke Lopez.
Could it be?
It definitely could be. He won a championship with the Bucks. He was on the Nets. He just
I mean,
signed
I
somewhere.
just joking earlier that's like J Lo was one of the answers we were essentially pre-calling.
It is.
Is it a
It has-
Lopez?
it-
One of the
it has-
Lopez's?
It has to be Brooke Lopez
Because he won an NBA championship with the Bucks. He did just sign somewhere else this year. I know that for a fact.
He did. He is the all-time scoring leader for the Nets, which is
Okay.
his first franchise.
Well, that's it then.
Yeah, so we're gonna check in with Brooke Lopez. Definitely not Robin. I'm
Definitely not
confident
Jennifer.
saying Brooke Lopez and not
All
just
right.
Lopez.
And the Wild and Crazy Kids, what you guys have?
Oh boy. I'm glad you guys got there because I was just sitting here and going, oh my gosh. I was like, I think this is Brooke Lopez because I was like, he was with the New Jersey Nets and then the Brooklyn Nets. All-time leading scorer, won a championship with the Bucks. He just signed with the Clippers.
Yep.
And in per our chat, parlay legend. Brooke Lopez, and I said this, and Eric goes, "Oh my god, 100%!" Because it's always cheaper than you think. Over 1.5 threes for Brooke Lopez because that's all he did for the Bucks. He just parked
he
his
does
ass
now,
around
yeah.
that 3-point line and was just shooting threes. And then Eric went, "Oh my god, and he never hits 10 plus points. And I go, yeah, because he'll end the game 3 for 4 from 3 with 9 points and he won't do anything else. And so
Disgusting.
we were dying laughing. But yeah, we also checked in with Brooke Lopez.
Bradley Beal's new teammate.
Both teams are receiving points, and he did just sign with the Clippers. It is Brooke Lopez. I was looking for some facts about Brooke Lopez, and I was like, my God, that guy's hung around and scored a lot of points. And then I was suddenly like, I went to look at active career point leader. You get pretty far down the list before you get to somebody that's never been All NBA, and it's Brooke Lopez. So well done. I'm glad you got there. Well, the Wild and Crazy Kids actually got the theme in first, and High and Travion already let the cat out of the bag with what it was. But what was the tip off for you guys, Wild and Crazy Kids? When did you get it?
Once we got to Jennifer Lawrence, he just went, oh, what if it's Jennifer Hudson? And then he goes, this is all Jennifer's. And so, yeah, that's what happened. That's how we got to it.
That's right. It's famous athletes who share their names with famous Jennifers. So well done.
Mark, I'm so sorry because Mark was like Jennifer Hudson, and I dismissed it. And I was like, it has to be Kate Hudson because her and Jenny McCarthy have to have some sort of crossover. And I was like, who do they both date? Like trying to figure it out. And I completely dismissed Jennifer Hudson. And then, yeah, we had the same, but we may have sent it then. So sorry, Mark, for dismissing.
You may or may not have
Jennifer
beaten them.
Hudson
They
so
got it.
quickly.
They got it pretty early on. And of course, I tried to play with. Yeah, I couldn't come up with another Aniston. There
No
were
Love Hewitts out there.
no Love
I
Hewitts.
said Love Hewitt.
Yeah.
That's what I said for the last one. I'm like, were there any Love Hewitts that got traded for D'Angelo Russell?
Did Calvin Coolidge put up any stats in college?
Right.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I will stand by the fact that these are all pretty five famous Jennifers, and in fact, McCarthy is arguably a Jenny, not a Jennifer. But I felt like I would get away with it since obviously your given name is Jennifer. You know, I was justified in putting J Lo last, I think. But I was wondering if you guys were going to get there. You were like, I need a Jennifer that's more famous than Lawrence or Garner, and I was
I
like,
know. I was
they're
just
right
sitting there, and you went, "It's not Felipe Lopez." And
Yes,
I was
right.
I was like, "Keep going.
Yeah.
Get away from this. Get away from this."
I
And then
forgot Mark
said
Mark
Robin
had to
Lopez.
say Robin.
Yes.
I was like,
Mark,
"God
as soon as
damn
Mark
it."
said Robin, it's funny that
I
the
know, I was like,
third
son of
one
a
was
bitch.
Brooke. Yeah, it's funny. All right. Well, it was people who share their names with famous Jennifers. And at the end of the third quarter, we have the following scores. Wild and Crazy Kids out to a little bit of a lead with 525 points. And High on Travion trailing, but still surmountable with 445 points.
Only two of them dated Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
Mitch
that's what we were
Connor.
talking. We were talking a lot about. Like, is this Affleck dating people? I'm like, well, J
Would
Lo's going
not
to come
surprise
up.
me
You
if he
know,
dated Jennifer
Well-
Lawrence and Kate Hudson.
no.
I don't.
In fact,
I don't.
the first two you mentioned were both married to him, right? Was
Yes.
Nene?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That will bring us to the fourth quarter.
The fourth quarter, known as Put Your Fours Up. This quarter consists of 4 categorized questions that teams will wager up to 100 points each, not to exceed their current point total.
All right. I was really, really boring with my question subjects today, so it's going to be there are no tricks or anything. It's just the questions. Question number 1, one for the March Madness fans. Question number 2, one for the baseball fans. Question number 3, another one for the baseball fans. And question 4, one for the draft sickos.
Oh yeah.
So
Wait,
it's
where's
time.
the Tour de France questions?
Exactly. It's time for the teams to place their wagers.
We'd like to take a minute to invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at BenchwarmersTP. We also have a Facebook group for fans of the pod called The Bench. Join us there to comment on the latest episodes and share cool sports facts and trivia. If you'd be willing to rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher, we'd greatly appreciate the support so that other people may find this podcast. Thanks.
All right, now that the wagers are in, on to the questions. Question number 1, one for the March Madness fans. What's the only Power 4 school that has never won a men's Madness game? They also haven't had a first-round pick in more than 25 years, though their last first-round pick won 2 championships as a player and 1 as a head coach.
We'll
Yeah.
check in.
All right,
Yeah.
Wild and Crazy Kids have checked in. High on Travion look like they might be on the verge of something. Let's see what they got.
Scott just
Mark,
messaged me like,
I got there because I told these guys you're not in our chat. Last week to celebrate my birthday at Benihana, I went to get hibachi, and I look across from me, and it's Tyronn Lue sitting at the table across from me with a woman that could be his daughter, but was more likely his mistress sitting next to him. And she was what you would expect. And what's funny about it was, and I don't know the logistics obviously, but I get a little observant, right? When I see famous people, if you will, or noteworthy people, I get a little observant. So I went, and back in my head, I was like, man, this very conventionally attractive woman who's at least 10 years my junior walked in here about 20 minutes ago by herself and sat at the table. So he made her show up about 20 minutes early and wait before him and the rest of his party showed up, because she was sitting there by herself texting for a good 20 minutes before anyone else showed up at that table. So
Power
take
move.
that, take that what you will. We're gonna check in with Nebraska for 100 points.
All right. And Wild and Crazy Kids, what'd you have?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the two championships as a player, one as a head coach, and I was like, okay, so we're talking like 2000, and I was like,
Yeah.
is this Tyronn Lue? And I was like, where the hell did he go to school? And then Ede's like, oh, Nebraska. And I was like, oh, okay, does that make sense? And he goes, no, it's Nebraska. He's like, that's exactly who it is. And spoiler alert for a future episode, I talk vehemently about Nebraska because I may or may not like to bet on props in college basketball. And they're about to take college props away, which I totally understand, but it's a real bummer because I enjoy it very much. Thanks, Bryce Williams. But anyways, go ahead.
College props don't exist in New York State, so don't worry about it.
Okay, so I'll get used to it. Okay. Anyways, all that to say, checked in Nebraska for 100 points.
Both teams, by a similar path, have gotten to the correct answer and will receive their 100 points. Yeah, I mean, it's somewhat surprising that you'd think that at some point Nebraska would have. I mean, they've been a national championship football team. They've obviously had better times in football than they're having right now, but they've never won a March Madness game. I think there's something like 0-8. They've literally never made it out of the first round, and they don't make it that often. But my God, 0-8.
Well, I mean, they made it, what, 2 years ago? Not last year, but the year before. They had that Japanese kid that was really, really good. And yeah, I actually picked them to win their first round game, and
they've never won. And
they were
the
a
way,
great shooting team, and then they forgot how to shoot because it's the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that's what happens. I mean, the pressure gets them or whatever. But Tyronn Lue was drafted in first round in 1998. Prior to that, their first round pick, their just prior to that first round pick was Eric Kwiatkowski in 1994.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about good shooter.
There have been some pretty terrible Nebraska players.
Whoa.
Okay, wait. Oh, I'm picking on Eric Kwiatkowski. Okay, sorry.
He made like 2 threes a game. He was like Brooke Lopez.
Fred Hoiberg's going to turn the ship around.
He was the Brooke Lopez of his time. Yes, I get it. I get it.
How dare you slander Brooke Lopez?
Exactly. All right. Question number 2, one for the baseball fans. In 2001, who became the only two teammates to each hit 3 home runs in the same game? The two players both played for Cleveland earlier in their career, and both were traded to the Brewers later. Both have 300-plus career home runs.
Yeah. David, we'll check in.
So Wild and Crazy Kids have checked in. Hi, on Travion. You can talk this out.
All right. So I was thinking the aforementioned Richie Sexson,
Mm-hmm.
because he started his career in Cleveland. He has over 300 homers. He played obviously for the Brewers. He also played for Arizona, played for Seattle. But in 2001, I think he would have still been with Milwaukee, because Arizona obviously won the World Series, and he was not on that Arizona World Series team, and he's not on. That's the 116 win Mariners team. And he's not on that team either. So I think he would have had to have been on Milwaukee.
So in early 2000s, Milwaukee.
Weird that he wasn't on that team.
Weird that they won all those games without a guy who only struck out or hit home runs.
Yeah, it's super strange.
So if he's on Milwaukee, the other guy I was thinking of is Jeremy Burnitz, but I don't have him in Cleveland early in his career.
Did he start with the Mets, or was he with the Mets after the Brewers?
I
remember him as a Met.
Yeah, but I don't think he was.
He could have started in Cleveland.
You know who else started in Cleveland and would have had a big season in 2001 is Jeff Kent.
He started in Cleveland.
Yeah,
was he on the Brewers?
He wasn't traded to Milwaukee, was he? I don't think so.
No, because he was on the Giants at that point.
Dude, Cleveland was a factory in like the early 90s of like just these young prospects. Is this Richie Sexson and Russell Branyan both playing for the Brewers?
I mean, that would be diabolical.
That
Two
would
Russell Branyans.
Yeah. I don't know who this is. Who else is on those Brewers teams? Jeff Jenkins. I don't remember him. Oh, you know who else this could be? And Brian Giles started his career in Cleveland as well. And then by '01, he would have been maybe that his first season in San Diego because he went to Pittsburgh
He went to Pittsburgh.
and
He
got
played with the
really good.
Braves too.
And that's Markkus.
Marcus
He played
Giles.
for
Too
the
many
Braves.
Giles.
I think by 2001, if he was in San Diego,
Did he start with Cleveland?
Brian Giles started in Cleveland for sure.
Okay.
He was a September call up in either '97 or '98 for Cleveland, and then he had like
Was he on the Brewers in 2001?
No, he would have been on like San Diego or
Right.
damn.
Because Richie Sexton wasn't on the Padres either, right? So
Not in 2001. I don't have it.
Of those names, like I probably like Burnett's the best, but I can't place him in Cleveland.
I don't think he was in Cleveland. Jeff Jenkins, I don't think he was in Cleveland.
Who was on the Cleveland lost to the Marlins, right, in '97.
Yeah, I
So
can
who
name
was
that
on
entire
Cleveland?
roster.
Well,
You don't
feel
want me to
free.
do that. Josh is going to get mad.
Name guys that hit home runs.
Alomar's catching on that team. Tomei's actually playing first base on that team. Tony Fernandez and Bip Roberts platooned at second. Vizquel's at short. Matt Williams is at third. He had like a cup of coffee there. Travis Fryman became their third baseman after that. Then the outfield is Justice, Ramirez, and Lofton.
What about Travis Fryman? Did he play for the Brewers?
Possibly. Yes, he did. He did. Fryman and Sexton. They were both on Milwaukee.
I agree.
All right, let's do that.
Okay.
I don't know if Fryman got the 300 homers, but that seems like a lot for him. But David's going to tell us we're running out of time soon, so I don't think there's a better answer.
I'm with you.
All right, yeah, so we'll do that then. So we'll check in with Richie Sexton and Travis Fryman for 100 points.
All right. And Wild and Crazy Kids, what'd you come up with?
Richie Sexton popped in my head real quick when I heard, Cleveland and Brewers. And then I just thought of who
Sexton.
Not
Actually
Colin Sexton.
Played for the Bisons here in Buffalo for quite a bit too. Immediately started thinking video games back that time too. And Markkus, like Jeremy Burnett's came up and Markkus immediately said he would always try to get him in MVP baseball, which is
you could trade for him for basically nothing, and then you got like a 5-hitter.
Yeah.
A 5-hole hitter that's just crushing bombs.
Who could hit 38 bombs.
Yeah, so we checked in with Richie Sexton.
No,
Sexton
wrong.
did it
That's
all.
wrong.
And Jeremy Burnett's with an O. Jeremy with an O.
That
is true. Jeremy with an O is correct.
For 100 points.
And one team will be receiving their 100 points, and it's the team that said Richie Sexton and Jeremy Burnett. He did come up with the Mets, but then he had like he was with he was with Cleveland for
when was
less
he in
than a
Cleveland?
season. In the 90, let's see, it must have been 95, 96, somewhere around there. Was that right?
95's a World Series team. I don't know if he's on that team.
He barely played for Cleveland. I mean, he was there. They traded.
I don't want to talk
prospect.
about Cleveland in 1995. Okay,
There you go.
It's a real sensitive subject.
Yeah,
30
I'm
years
with you.
later.
But yeah, so the correct answers are Jeremy Burnett, who had 315 career home runs, and Mariners legend Richie Sexton, who had 306 home runs. So one team will be receiving the 100 points. All right, question number 3, another one for the baseball fans. Who is the only player to play for all 4 MLB franchises that originated in New York, and only those 4 teams? He finished his career with 335 home runs.
We'll check in.
All right, Wild and Crazy Kids have checked in. Hi on Travion. Time to talk it out.
This is tough because no time frame, no position. It's hard to pinpoint anything.
Yeah, I mean,
And every guy I'm thinking of, it's like they have another team. Damn.
you just sent over Strawberry, which for sure Mets, Yankees, Dodgers, Giants. Like Dodgers is the one I can't quite.
I feel like I
picture him
remember
on.
them signing him at some point. But did he play somewhere else? For some reason, I have like St. Louis in my head. Was he a Cardinal at some point?
I don't. That doesn't seem right to me.
Okay, I don't know why that
But I'm
jumped in my
also
head.
old and
But
forget a lot
300,
of things.
I mean, 335 home runs is about right for him.
Yeah,
That
he
seems
came
about
out of the gate fast, but then he kind
Yeah.
of slowed down for reasons.
He
Well,
sped up.
he sped up. Exactly. Maybe that's where we go, just because I'm racking my brain of other people
Yeah.
who've even played for 2 or 3 of these franchises, and then there's another team.
Yeah, there's
So
always another team. Pretty much everybody I thought of, there's another team.
yeah. So maybe we
I
just go
mean,
DJ.
I feel like he played on all 4 of the teams for sure.
I
It's just a
think he
matter of,
did.
and 335 homers sounds about right.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, why don't we check in with Daryl Strawberry for 100 points?
All right. And Wild and Crazy Kids, what'd you have?
It took me a minute to get to who would hit around that home. That amount of home runs is always tricky, but around 335 felt like right. It was for Strawberry, and he played for the Yankees, the Mets, definitely the Dodgers, and maybe I'm pretty confident. Remember, he was on the Giants for at least a year. So we checked in with Daryl Strawberry for 100 points.
Both teams are receiving points, and once again, one of my fourth quarter answers was foreshadowed in the first quarter. So well done. He did play for all those teams, and no, he did not play third base. He was in the news just this week because Pete Alonso became the all-time Mets home run leader, passing Daryl Strawberry. There are actually only 3 players in Major League history that have played for all of those teams, but he's the only one that played for just those teams. The other ones, you'd get a million bonus points if you could name them, but it was Jose Vizcaino and Ricky Leday. So you're talking about some pretty obscure players of the '90s, I think.
Oh, I don't remember Ricky Leday as
Oh,
a Met.
yeah.
I got him. I have him in the other 3 spots.
But I don't think about either of those guys as being primarily on those teams because Ricky Leday,
Ricky
I would have had
Leday
on the
was
Rangers or
Ricky
Phillies,
Leday was
maybe.
he was an answer. He started left field in the year 2000 for the Yankees. He was in my Sporkle quiz today.
There you go.
I thought about Edgardo Alfonso because I knew.
Yeah, he didn't play for the Dodgers or the
Right,
Yankees, right?
that's what Ed corrected me on. I was like,
Yeah.
I know he played for in LA and it was the Angels and not the Dodgers.
I was going to put in various hints about. I mean, there are all kinds of things you could say about Daryl Strawberry as hints, including the
cocaine.
fact that, right, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
One of your hints is just cocaine.
yeah, exactly. That's the only hint you need. All right.
I'd be like, oh, Daryl Strawberry.
Oh yeah, Carlos Beltran was never a Dodger.
Stephen King.
So our score is sadly it's now mathematically impossible for the poor high on Trayvon. Speaking of high on Trayvon, but I hopefully you'll enjoy the fourth quarter question number 4 anyway. So here's one.
You didn't let us answer for a million bonus points, so I feel
That's
robbed
true.
a little bit.
Yeah,
like, I'm pretty
that's
sure
true.
Scott would have got that.
I
And then
could
we
have
had
gotten
a
Ricky
game.
Leday maybe, but
Could have had a game.
Yeah, if you could have gotten both right. Well, you could play
Jose Vizcaino. Yeah, I forget about him as a Dodger, but he did play there.
You could play it under protest. All right. Well, hopefully question number 4 will be fun anyway. So this one's one for the draft sickos. All right. But worded like a David question, of course. There are only 9 schools that have had a first or second round pick, or both, in each of the last 6 drafts. Okay? 8 of those 9 schools have finished in the top 5 of the college football rankings in at least one of those years. The 9th school has only finished in the top 25 once in the last 20 years. I want you to name that school.
This probably had the most fun I've had answering a question in a while. So
Honestly, this is so fun.
Draft Sicko Super Bowl right here.
We will check in.
All right. High on Travion has checked in. Wild and Crazy Kids. Time to flex. Let's see what you got.
Gut reaction right away was Arizona, Colorado, just for recent mememory. But immediately go back 1-2 years and you're already out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Rutgers popped in my head because they always seem to have just a guy somewhere in the early rounds. UNC also, but Markkus hit it like I want to say like I think you're right with
I think I might have the people too, which is gross.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's also just recent. So, and the thing with Rutgers is, like I said I had high hopes for Kyle Monungai, and then he ran a 4.6 flat, and I was like, well, that's not going to happen. Even though he's been tearing up at Bears camp because he's actually good. Because of this podcast, I went, oh, what about Minnesota? And then we started at 2025, and I said, okay, Ariante Ursary. He was absolutely one. Then you go the year before, Tyler Nubin, the safety, was one. The guy I wanted the Seahawks to draft, and they drafted Zach Charbonnet instead. The next year, John Michael Schmitz, the center, wanted him. Seahawks legend Boye Mafe. The next year, my personal favorite, because he's on my Devi team for one of my fantasy leagues, Rashad Bateman. And then that put us at 5. That's when he was like, oh, we're at 5. And then I went, wait, we were trying to figure out what draft we were getting back to. Oh, it's 2020. And I went, oh my God. Antoine Winfield Jr. was a second round pick.
Yep.
And so I think these are all, with the exception of Bateman, I think these are all second round picks except for him. So we checked in with Minnesota for 100 points.
All right. I know you said you didn't have anything, but did you even have a guess high on Travion? Let's go back to you guys.
We had a list that had Arizona on it. It had Colorado on it. It had Vanderbilt on it. It had Minnesota on it. Ultimately, we really didn't pick one to check in. So we'll take the negative 100 points. Not that it matters.
Well,
I feel happy that I had Minnesota on my list because I also was like, they're terrible, but always have draftable guys. High draftable guys.
Minnesota and Syracuse was the first thing that Scott sent over.
Makes sense too.
Syracuse is another
that
good
is
one.
perfectly cromulent answers to me because I don't think they have been ranked.
Well, a little bit of commentary from your host. Number one is one team is receiving points. Second is to say that I don't like to ask Minnesota questions, but this one was too good to pass up. And number three, Markkus, you are a sicko because that's ridiculous.
Impressive.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
A sick individual.
I would have pulled Winfield Jr., but I didn't even know how to pronounce.
Oh, would you?
These guys' names.
You would have pulled the Pro Bowler of that bunch.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, I wouldn't remember probably 4 of these guys. Seahawks legends, sure.
Like I said, I'm in a fantasy football league where there's a 53-man roster, 11 starters on each side of the ball, and it's a Devi C2C league, meaning we also draft college players who are currently in college. They have to just be at least a freshman, and it's disgusting the depths that I go.
Wow.
And
that's like drafting minor leaguers.
It's really rough. I haven't drafted a good running back since we started that league. It sucks.
That's tough to know. That's tough.
Isaiah Spiller was my first Devi pick. How about that?
Nice. Well, our game has come to an end, and here are the final scores. High on Travion finished with an extremely respectable for a hard game, 445 points. But our clipboard captains of the game, who are receiving the coveted Tom Flick Award, sorry, I had high hopes for Mark, with 925 points, was Wild and Crazy Kids. If you don't remember Tom Flick, he was a backup in the Eason Grogan era. He had a career 2 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. He was pretty impressive. Yeah.
He played in Boston?
I don't even remember Tom Flick.
He didn't see the field much.
Hey Mark, how about let's have a shout out for Raiders legend Mike Haynes. How about that?
Mike Haynes. Yeah.
Raiders legend Mike Haynes.
Of course.
All right, Mark, since you were our guest and you haven't been on in a while, do you have anything you want to throw out before we call it a night?
It's always a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. Scott, couldn't get us off the L train. I haven't won in a long time. I feel like I come on a lot. I have not won in a long time, which is totally fine. It's just fun to come on and try and answer questions. One of the things that I enjoy doing recently, sports trivia related. You see me post about it on the bench sometimes, Apocalypse Sports Trivia. I'm not sure when this episode is going to come out, but the next fortnight of Apocalypse Sports Trivia starts towards the end of September. I think it's September 28th will be the first day. Eid has played in the past. I think Scott played for one season.
I played one season, got annihilated, and was like, all right, I'll let these guys do it.
Walling is playing right now. If you want to check it out and get a gist of what the questions are like, what the day-to-day stuff is like, Trevor Hogue and I have a podcast where we talk about the questions every day when the season's going on. It's called Talk Apocalypse. So you look it up on all your favorite podcasters, podcatchers, whatever. We're on every single thing. So it's usually 15, 20 minutes where we talk about 5 questions and how we came up with our answers. And
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So check it out.
One of these days. And this episode drops on the 9th, by the way, September 9th. So
perfect.
Good timing for your advertisement here. So it's great. Well, Mark, thank you for coming on. It's always great to see you and great to have you on the show. So thank you to you for your support for the podcast and to all of our patrons. It's a good time for me to wrap it up. So on behalf of Mark, all the patrons, Scott, Markkus, and Eric Eid, thank you for listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Until next time, we'll keep the bench warm.
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch! Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes!
Into deep left center for Mitchell. and we'll see you tomorrow night.
That great music you're listening to is by Justin Nozick. Thanks to him for producing that music for us. You've been listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We are at BenchwarmersTP.